What's up, gang? Welcome back. Welcome back. Dan and Juliana here with Theme Park Gangsters. In this video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about Universal Studios' newest theme park, Epic Universe, and Helios Grand Hotel. Let's get it.
So Dark Universe, I feel like, is the monster lover's paradise, and I'm honestly most excited for the whole land as a collective together. Because the way they make it sound is they take all these universal monsters, Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Dracula, Creature, Phantom, Mummy, Wolfman, all those movies, and they all relocate them to this one place called Darkmoor.
So before you go on, what's your favorite Universal monster?
The Bride.
Okay, cool.
How
Mine
about
is
you?
Creature. All right, so Darkmoor. This is the name of the town that we're in. So what else should we know about Dark Universe?
It's basically a town where all these monsters, I guess, are congregated, or this is their home, right? And so there's gonna be spins on each of these monsters in this world. So you're gonna have the catacombs lying deep beneath the grounds, and there's gonna be wells, they say, that are filled with blood that feed the catacombs for the vampires. There's going to be wooded areas where there'll be werewolves. You're going to have Frankenstein's Manor. It sounds so immersive that I just can't imagine it. Like, just going to Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, like, I can't imagine what they're going to be doing with this world.
Right. I heard there's also supposed to be a tavern where vampire hunters hang out. And so I think there's going to be team members. So I feel like the whole park, but specifically we're talking about Dark Universe right now, is going to have interactive elements of cast member, or sorry, we're not at Disney.
No.
Team members actually making you feel immersed and engaged in whatever land that you're in. So you might bump into Van Helsing while you're having a beer in Dark Universe. So and plenty of new exciting rides, right? So what do we have here?
So you have the Curse of the Werewolf. That's a spinning roller coaster, and this is based on, obviously, the werewolf. And there's gonna be a new Asian inspired character called Milva, which sounds, I feel like, I don't know if she's a werewolf or she's somebody that's warning you at the beginning of the ride that this is like a cursed ride, and so don't go in. I'm not quite sure where she falls within this storyline. But basically the ride is a spinning coaster. So I'm assuming it's similar to the one that we did in
Nickelodeon Universe.
What is it? The Shredder?
Yeah.
But they're saying that it's a body weight spin. So I guess every ride experience is going to feel different. I thought maybe it'd be similar to Guardians.
No, because Guardians spins you at specific points in time, where I believe this is going to be spinning based on who's in the coaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is, I believe this is labeled as family friendly.
Yeah, so there's different layers to this park, like, and nothing is going to get so intense that it's on an HHN level fright. So nothing is going to be, like, I know there was rumor about jump scares in the queues. I don't think that's going to actually be happening. I do think they're going to have monster characters in the queue, but they're not going to jump out at you and scare you. they're gonna have similar characters walking throughout the land, I feel like, to make it an immersive experience, whether it's a monster character or it's a villager that lives in the land. But I don't think they're definitely saying it's like PG 13. It's nothing intense.
Right.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you'll be able to meet some of the monsters, right? So like, and I love the way Universal does their character meets, where it's, we've waited online for like an hour and a half, 2 hours to meet Mickey and Minnie in Animal Kingdom with the kids. So I just love the way it's like, they randomly show up and a line forms and then they leave and then a new line. So I'm super excited and I would love to meet Creature.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think the Invisible Man is going to be there the entire time. You just won't be able to see him.
Dad joke.
So
another part of the park that I'm like stoked because when I go to Diagon, I can literally sit and watch Gringotts Dragon for like hours. Every 10 minutes, just sit there, video it every single time. It feels great every single time. So they're gonna have the bar or the tavern Dan was talking about, where there's a burning windmill, and they're gonna have the windmill's actually gonna be on fire.
yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna do it. There's no CGI. It's purely fire.
so I think what they stated was that it's going to catch fire multiple times a day, and allegedly there's various forms of I don't know if it's gas or something flammable. So they use different kinds, so that way the fire remains like visible in the daytime, and at the night it's going to look similar. So it's probably whatever the same mechanism is at Diagon, where the fire doesn't just lose its steam, no pun intended, in the daytime.
Yeah, and I feel like the thing that they're so detail oriented, and that's why I appreciate, especially the Wizarding World parts so much, because they're gonna make sure to add the burnt aspect of the windmill. So it's gonna have all these details, like there is charredness to the windmill. Yeah, it's gonna be, for me, I love stuff like that. So, and then the windmill itself, it's a tavern, and I guess it's a place where there are monster hunters of some sort that chill out and go for drinks. And they're gonna be interactive when you actually, as a theme park guests, and they're gonna put on a little show, and I'm sure there's gonna be great photo ops, and it's gonna be really, really, really cool.
Maybe Van Helsing's granddaughter will be there from Bloodlines in HHN this year. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'm super excited about it. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, and monsters, although they're from the 20s and 30s, I feel like they made a big comeback in the 80s and 90s. I used to have monster magazines. One of my favorite movies as a kid was The Monster Squad, which was all the Universal monsters brought back, in classic late 80s kid movie fashion. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and I feel like the efforts were made in the 90s when I think, was it Robert De Niro played Frankenstein, and
Was it Robert
I
De
feel like
Niro?
it was Robert De Niro. Google it. I feel like Google it. You'll see it's Robert De Niro.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google
If Robert De
No.
Niro walked around saying, "Are you talking to me?" with bolts in his neck.
I feel like did.
Comment down below if you would like to see Robert De Niro play Frankenstein.
Yes. Robert De Niro played Frankenstein in 1994 film. I told you. So you don't
Shout out to Bobby De Niro.
Yeah. So I feel like, and that's the beautiful thing about when you have something so, this is 100-year-old.
It's timeless.
It's timeless. And when you have a legacy that's so strong, and there's all these energies and creative minds, and like it just carries on the legacy, and it's a beautiful thing. And like now there's a whole I feel like I have chills because like there's gonna be a whole world for these monsters that deserve it.
Right.
And I think the beautiful thing about these monsters, so you have this type of horror where it's, and then you have like Freddy, Jason, Chucky, like, but these monsters are, I guess you could play both sides of the fence.
Yeah,
but
I'm
these,
actually I'm gearing up to play
okay.
the other side.
But these monsters are so vulnerable and they're so relatable, and in their movies and in their stories, they don't really ever want to be the bad guys. All they really want at the end of the day is to be accepted.
Right.
And like that's, I feel like what this world is going to be is, this is their home, right? And this gets way too deep, but this is their home. And guess what? They're accepting us.
Are they, or are they trying to kill us while on a spinning roller coaster?
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way.
Wolfman is literally going to be trying to rip your face off as you spin past him on a coaster. So, shout out to you for a soft spot for Wolfman. You know, Dracula's been seducing women for thousands of years, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Creature always had a bikini babe with him, so shout out to him. All right, so I feel like the entire episode has been Dark Universe.
No, we're not done yet, though. We're not done.
Thanks for joining us.
So they're gonna have a steakhouse, right? And they're gonna serve steaks on steaks.
That is brilliant.
Like, and so what the theming is, it's gonna be like they're gonna have like vampire themed steakhouse. That's what my thoughts are.
Right.
You're gonna see like coffins hanging, and the waiters are supposed to be like protecting us from the vampires. And it's just like, I love clever, right?
Right.
Give me a good pun. What is it? What is steaks on steaks? What is that called?
Yeah, I think a pun.
A pun? Give me, I live for that type of stuff. So, and I don't even like steak. But guess what? I'm ordering a steak on a steak.
Yeah. Maybe not weekend one, because the wait time. Now, it'll be interesting to see when we can start booking reservation for dining, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm excited.
And then another thing I'm really excited for is to get a monster makeover. And
So they kind of previewed these like a year ago at studios.
Yeah. Didn't have the opportunity then. But I feel like I'm happy I didn't, because I want to be going in the salon. And I'm not sure what monster. Obviously I'm like bride focused. But I don't know. I feel like I might want to do something different.
Well, I think it hits different walking in Dark Universe in a monster makeup than it does sitting in the Jimmy Fallon ride in New York City with the,
Yeah.
you know. So
Like if I could just be chilling at Das House. What is it called? Das House? I don't know. The steakhouse. With steak on a steak. Dressed up as a vampire. Right?
Yeah. So the cool thing about this too is I know we're spending a lot of time in Dark Universe, but I feel like that's because there's a lot to cover here. And I feel like as, you know, eventually crowds die down and stuff, you can definitely spend full days in each land. You know, like I feel like there's going to be so much to do in each of these lands that you can spend your entire time getting a makeover, then having a steak, then riding some rides, then meeting characters. And it's like, that's your whole day if you want it to be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, like, I feel like, I don't know, and no disrespect because I love Universal. I don't know, maybe, you know, Diagon or Hogsmeade, you know. But outside of those two lands and the current parks, I don't know if there's like any land that I would want to spend my entire day in right now.
I would spend my entire day in Diagon.
Well, that's why I said aside from Diagon and Hogsmeade, because you have Ollivanders, you know, so there's a lot to do there. But no disrespect, I'm not spending my entire day in Marvel land eating at the cafe, or Toon Lagoon, which I appreciate, but you know what I mean? But
Yeah, well, I feel like the innovation has changed since those lands have been created.
right.
And once they fell on Diagon, and I don't know which one was made first. I think it was Diagon.
Yeah, Diagon was first and then
I feel
Hans.
like they were like, wow, we got something big here. And they just went for it with all of these parks, is with the vibe I'm getting, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, then they have another ride called Monsters Unchained, and this is a motion simulation ride. And it's going to have 14 animatronics,
Which we've seen.
and they look incredible.
Yeah.
And Universal is claiming this is going to be their scariest ride that they have done. In regards to what thrills, or I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so. Right now, I think the scariest ride is Velocicoaster, right? In terms of the thrill level. But if you're combining, let's say you have a Velocicoaster type ride with gigantic animatronics jumping out at you, scariest. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Animatronics look amazing. Not a knock on Disney, but I'm really glad that because I kind of liked the animatronics in like Frozen with the digital face. It's like, oh wow, look, the thing's singing along. But then they stepped it up with the Tiana ride, and now you see these animatronics. So I think that having actual animatronics that's has moving mouths and faces as opposed to that
Well,
digital.
I feel like Navi River,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
that lady at the end.
Is that a lady?
A person. I don't know. I don't know what it is,
It's a
but
Navi.
it's a Navi
It's a Navi.
person. She really, I, yeah,
Yeah.
that was mesmerizing.
Right, and then Tiana's was good, with the voodoo.
No, they're all
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, not to derail. We've already derailed. We are 90 minutes in, and we're still on dark.
But yeah, back onto the Monsters Unchained. They're gonna take the story of Frankenstein, and so there's this Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, who's the great great granddaughter of Henry Frankenstein, who created Frankenstein, and she took his legacy and basically put a modern twist on his technology, is what the sounds of it is, and captures all these monsters and is trying to control them so they can be accepted into the world. And so I feel like this ride is gonna be deep, because maybe they don't need to be controlled.
Yeah.
But you are dead set on they need to be controlled.
I was gonna give you guys a deep, deep, deep situation referencing back to Monster Squad. Frankenstein befriended the little girl, and at the end, Frankenstein saved her life and reached out like Phoebe, and I just remember bawling like a baby.
Yeah, it's just maybe they're not the problem and we are.
I don't know.
So anyway, end of the day, I feel like there's probably a beautiful message at the end of the ride. I feel like it's just the whole world is just a beautiful message, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm even stoked for the portal. Like, say they're gonna have electrical currents and and it's gonna transmit through the whole world on that level. I can't wait.
Well, I think the portal concept is amazing anyway, right? Because it's like each place you go to, you're literally walking into the world through the portal. So, yeah, it's a great, great concept. Shout out to Universal Creative, because it's gonna be fire, and we're 6 months away. So I'm excited, big time.